This is the story of when I was chased by bullies. I was in high school, being a regular guy, just as anybody else. First, I have to say that my parents put me at a private school where they barely can afford it. They work late hours and even side jobs. They keep saying I have to make the most of my time, and they want to give me the best they can give. I just wish sometimes they spend more time with me. Anyway, as the older brother in the family, I have learned at being responsible and help out with some chores at home. I keep only A grades, so my parents wouldn't have to worry about me. On a twist, this is the reason why I got in trouble with some other students at my class. After the first semester of my senior year, some students have been pressuring me to do their homework. At first, I accepted and got paid in return. I know, it was a bad thing to do, but I kept thinking that this would be a great way to make some income, so that way I wouldn't have to worry about asking my parents for money. This went great for a time. I kept doing some of my classmates' homework, $100 each. At first, I thought no one would know because I only had 4 clients, but then they couldn't keep it as a secret, and 4 became 8 until, in a matter of 3 months, all of my classmates knew that I was doing homework for money. I became afraid that if teachers ever found out someone has been making a business of making other people's homework assignments and take home tests for money, I would be in trouble. Serious trouble. No, best to cut off things now before it's too late. I'm to graduate soon anyway, and it's not worth the risk. On the following weeks, students came to me asking if I could do their homework, but I refused. They quickly changed from being kind and all smiles to be angry at me and give me faces as if they hate me or as if I was the worst person. They couldn't do anything against me by throwing me under the bus because they would be shooting themselves on the foot. No, they know very well that if I go down, I'm not going down alone. Weeks passed, and last assignment of the semester is due next week. At this point, I was relieved I left my clandestine business behind. All I want to do now is focus on graduating and getting to college. One day after school, uh, as I customarily do, I walked back home. As I was on my way home, I felt as if someone was observing me. I thought perhaps I was too tired and just needed to rest. I turned toward one alley when suddenly 2 of my classmates cornered me. I knew exactly who they were. They were my first customers, my first clients, if you may, on my nefarious business. They came from money, sons of politicians and executives of major tech companies. "What do you want?" I said. One of them responded, "Ever since you shut down your business, my grades plummeted. My parents say if I don't graduate this year, they are going to cut off my debit cards permanently." The other guy said, "Why did you stop doing assignments? It was going well. We paid you, didn't we?" he said as he punched me on my stomach. I fell on the floor, gasping for air. As I was coughing and fighting the pain, I said, "It was becoming too risky. If I hadn't stopped, the teachers would have found out. Everyone in class knew someone was making that kind of business." "Yeah, well, you are gonna go back on business now," one of them said. "This is the last assignment we have, and you are going to do it for us." As he said it, he helped me stand up, only to punch me on my stomach one more time. Oh, oh. This is a reminder of what would happen 10 times in fall if you don't help us. Remember, we want A's. Later that day, I went back home and I began working, formulating my revenge. They have no idea who they are dealing with. They might have money, connections, but I have brains, something they lack a lot. They will have a surprise when they see the F's on their final grades. As time passed, we presented our assignments, and the professors said that we need to get ready for graduation. It was finally the last day of class when suddenly the two students who cornered me outside school were called to the principal's office. All I could think of was showtime. I was ready to go home when one of the professors told me on a serious tone that I was needed at the principal's office. I expected no less. Once I entered the principal's office, he told me to sit down. Then he began saying, "Two of your classmates have been caught cheating on their final assignments. After they were called to my office this morning and presented the facts, they began telling me a fantastic story. They said someone has been doing a business at school, doing the students' homeworks in exchange of money. They accused you." "Me?" I said in a surprised face. "Is there any proof of that, Mr. Principal?" I asked. "Why did they mention your name unless they have something?" That's BS, I thought. He has nothing. They have nothing. When I started my business, I made sure all works were different. If you have no proof of that, then I should go, Mr. Principal. The principal just stared at me, trying to see something, trying to uncover the truth. But I held my position, and I saw him in the eye. When I was at the door, he told me, I advised you to be careful. That's all. When I left school, I called an Uber to take me home this time. I don't know about you, but I'm glad high school is over. Don't cheat at school and be careful out there. I was lucky this time, but you never know. Thank you.